trying to find this Marvel release schedule because they did the same thing with the Marvel. They just did a bunch of they didn't title anything that's coming out.
Yeah, I can tell you. I'm looking at the schedule. So 2020, there's two untitled Marvels. 2021, there are 1, 2, 3 untitled Marvels. 2022, there are 1, 2, 3 again untitled Marvels.
Yeah, it's odd that 2020 is only going to have 2 because for the past several years they've done 3 in a year.
They are jumping right back up to 3.
I've never noticed how many Marvel films they've pumped out each year until this year. Like, I guess it's because it was reaching the climax of this end of this phase. But like Captain Marvel and Endgame seemed so close together, and yet, I now realize they've always done multiple Marvel releases every year.
Yeah, because last year we had Black Panther, Infinity War, Ant-Man and the Wasp. The year before that, I know it was 3. It's been 3 for a few years now.
Yeah.
So to see them going back to 2 is actually a bit heartening. It means they might actually be taking some time to think about what they want to do.
Because they don't have a plan yet.
I think they have an overarching plan.
I'm telling you, they're creatively bankrupt. They're like, we're done. I don't know what to do now.
If the biggest thing that you had was Thanos, big purple guy.
Yeah.
Then you're an idiot, like, because he's not even one of the most interesting Marvel cosmic villains.
They're done.
Well, and we know with Marvel though there is 2 movies for sure coming up. We have Shang-Chi and Black Widow are the only 2 confirmed ones. They don't really have dates, obviously, but we're gonna imagine they're the 2 unreleased dates.
The Eternals is a confirmed project.
Yes.
Yeah.
They just cast Richard Madden as well.
Yeah.
And the director is for Shang-Chi is a friend of Brie Larson, so we might even get a Brie Larson assist from that movie, which I think Shang-Chi won't need it in China because the whole point of them making this movie is to appeal to China. But I do think over here he might need a boost, so I wonder what Avenger they'll give him.
Yeah, I don't know. I think that they can do something like that solo. They've made more obscure, dumb, on-screen-worthy characters work.
We're looking at you, Doctor Strange.
No, Doctor Strange is very much a screen-worthy character, even if that movie is, crushingly mediocre. But they are going to do a Doctor Strange 2. That's not confirmed, but it's pretty much confirmed. And
Scott Derrickson has talked about it, and I follow him on Twitter. He's been posting a lot of Doctor Strange stuff, which says he's in the mood of writing it. So.
Yeah. They're going to do another Captain Marvel. We know that. There's no way that movie makes that much money and doesn't get touched again.
Black Panther, we're probably going to get that too. Maybe, hopefully, Namor as the villain.
That'd be cool, and that could work. I'd imagine that is the February of 2021 release, if not the February of 2022. But I think that they're going to want that out quicker. I don't know. It's hard to say where they're going with it. I am writing a big old thing about where I think they're going with it, but I think that would become incredibly tedious to go over right now. That's interesting. It is interesting because we've had this blocked off of what they were doing with this since like, I don't know, 2014. So to pretty much just be in the wilderness with it is fun and kind of interesting. And the things that are officially slated are weird and kind of dumb. Like the Eternals. Like I said, I love the Eternals comic. I don't know why the fuck you'd make this movie. That's a Jack Kirby comic, but it's ancient aliens, weird shit. Like, whenever they announced that, I was like, all right. Like, fine. Shang-Chi is a weird pull. That's not really in and of itself putting asses in seats as an IP, especially since like the origins. I think they've done other stuff with that later, and he is like a pretty key character in the Jonathan Hickman Avengers, which is another thing that makes me think that they might be going in that direction. But I mean, he starts off as like the son of Fu Manchu and like really not not racist 70s comics. So
yeah, but they did well. I mean, look at M'Baku's character in Black Panther was called
Man-Ape. Yes,
like,
thank God.
So like they've done well of tiptoeing around their low-key racism, and then maybe sometimes adding more. The Ancient One, I'm looking at you. Which again, Tilda Swinton playing a bald Asian person. I think her character still fit Asian. I'm still here for that. It's Tilda Swinton. She could play anything.
Well, I think she proved, yeah.
Yeah, I think Shang-Chi is so their most. I'm trying to appeal to the Chinese box office, but they banged out money for that first the first weekend of Endgame, so it's not dumb of them. Black Widow, I think Black Widow's going to be their weirdest one to sell. I think a lot of people think, oh, cool, it's going to be Black Widow. If you look at Red Sparrow, if you look at Ghost in the Shell, if you look at a lot of female-led thrillers like this, especially Scarlett Johansson based, I don't think it's going to be a moneymaker. They better keep that budget low like they're doing Birds of Prey to keep that same, let's do a weird female-led movie but not put $100 million into it.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't know. The female spy movie is not it's not a box office success typically. But I don't know. There might be enough recognition there. I really think they should have done this 4 years ago.
Yeah.
Like that, it would.
They should. Yes,
they've
mishandled her character until the last minute.
So bad.
Yeah, to the point where spoilers, she's fucking dead now. In these movies,
I don't know which executive signed off on the thing of like, so we're going to finally get around to that origin film, and it's all good with our multiple universes, whatever, blah blah blah. We'll make it a prequel. And she's dead. Like, it's just why?
Because they had to save the most boring Avenger ever.
Huh?
Yeah. Although then talk to Jeremy Renner and he would say he's been mishandled. So, neither of them are happy.
No, there's no
it has
good
always
way
very
to
much
handle.
been Thor, Captain America, Hulk, Iron Man, and then the other two.
Gerald just said there was no good way to handle Hawkeye, and I disagree. The best way to handle Hawkeye would have been to not cast Jeremy Renner as Hawkeye. And I like Jeremy Renner, but
who would you have cast? What is your kind of more Hawkeye casting?
Honestly, and this isn't even like, this is me pulling something out of my ass, but you would have been better off casting somebody like Owen Wilson as a Hawkeye than a Jeremy Renner. Not that that's my dream casting or anything.
Him, like everything he's saying, he's like, oh yeah, more.
I mean, I'm sure I could come up with someone better, but that's that would be more close to something that you would want to do with Hawkeye. Like the guy that has a stupid ability but knows that it's a stupid ability and, can kind of play off of it. It's a more comedic character than Jeremy Renner ever played it as.
My pick would have been younger Zac Efron. I think he has that
That's
vibe.
fun. I could go with that. I don't know.
Somebody Zac Efron doing more. I'm surprised we have not casted him in a superhero movie yet. That's a weird choice.
Yeah, he could pull something off. I don't know.
Maybe he could be a good Johnny Storm.
I'm not opposed to that. He might be a little on the old side. No,
Alan, let's do a podcast where we just cast.
What kind of world are we in? Like, I'm not disagreeing with you, but like, how fast has time passed where we can be having a conversation and Zac Efron is too old for a role?
How old is he? Well, I just don't like old Johnny Storm. I already saw it with Chris Evans and it was lame.
Oh, poor Chris Evans.
And Michael B.
I mean, you got Captain America, so not really. I mean,
he did great as Captain America, and he wasn't bad. It wasn't his fault that those Fantastic Four movies aren't very great. How old is Zac Efron? Yeah, Zac Efron's 31. He can be somebody else.
I was about to say, yeah, he's already starting to play Ted Bundy. I think he has aged out.
Yeah, he is aged out.
He will always be High School Musical.
But no, I think somebody that was just a little more aloof would have been a better Hawkeye than Jeremy Renner. And again, that's not shitting on Jeremy Renner. That's just poor casting.
Yeah,
I think
the direction that it took things.
I think they were just like, he's kind of a name right now because it's coming like straight off of Hurt Locker.
Yeah, exactly. That's what I was thinking.
Yeah, like he's kind of a name right now.
Kids friendly movie.
That what? Kids friendly movie. Yeah, but he was kind of
little kids.
I really liked Hurt Locker.
I'm not saying it's bad, but it's not like I am thinking like Jeremy Renner. Can't wait to cast him in these family friendly films.
Family friendly films, yeah.
Yeah, but he was a name that they could be like, yeah, look, we got real actors in this, and also they could pay him pennies. Like it was, he was in that sweet spot.
Some of those salaries that have come out from like previous events, very interesting.
Oh, I don't know exact numbers, but I know that pretty much everyone other than Robert Downey Jr. got paid dick. Like,
I think like in the first few films, and I may be wrong, please, correct me if I am, and but I feel like Jeremy Renner was getting like $300,000 for the first Avengers film. And potentially so was Scarlett Johansson. Like, they were significantly lowballed. But then people like Chris Hemsworth weren't getting as much as you thought. And then, Robert Downey Jr. was, like, out there in front.
Robert Downey Jr. signed a back-end deal, and that's why he got a lot, because they weren't taking much of a risk on him. And that was back when Ike Perlmutter, who is the head of Marvel, actually held the purse strings for the Marvel Cinematic Universe. And he is notoriously a cheapskate and also just kind of a con and all around piece of shit. So a lot of that shifted once Disney actually took over, and Kevin Feige had them pretty much subvert Perlmutter altogether. All I remember is early on, I think Kevin Smith talked about running into Samuel L. Jackson at some event and being like, yeah, you must be doing pretty good with these Marvel movies, and Samuel L. Jackson being like, hell no, they don't pay me shit.
You can always rely on Samuel L. Jackson to tell it how it is.
Yeah.